Hello, I hope you and your family are well today. Today's lesson is about childhood, and if you look at the picture here, I give you a little clue about what childhood means. Please pause the video if you want to read longer and to write your answers. You need paper and a pen to write your answers. And press play when you want to play the video again and find out and check your answers. So, what are we going to do today? Well, ask and answer questions about childhood. You are going to write sentences about your childhood, read sentences about famous people and their childhood, and write sentences about famous people and their childhood. And again, that will be for your homework. So, we're going to start with a quiz. Okay, so this gentleman here, what was his name? Where was he born? And what was his job? Pause the video and write down your answers. This is the next picture. What was this man's name? Where was he born? What was his job? And this lady, what was her name? Where was she born? And what was her job? Finally, this young lady, what is her name? Where was she born? And why is she famous? Okay, pause the video and write your answers. Here are the answers to picture 1. His name was Nelson Mandela. He was born in South Africa. He was a politician and president. Picture 2. His name was Martin Luther King. He was born in America. He was a Baptist minister and activist. Now, activist is a difficult word, so you might want to look the meaning of that up in the dictionary. Activist. Picture 3. Her name was Mother Teresa. She was born in Skopje, Macedonia. She was a nun and worked with very poor people in Calcutta, India. Again, nun might be a new word, so look in your dictionary and see if you can find the meaning of that word, nun. This word here. And the final picture, her name is Malala Yousafzai. She was born in Pakistan. She is an education activist and writer. So here we have that word again, activist. Activist. Look that up in the dictionary and find the meaning of that word. Notice in the first sentence we've got this word, and in the second sentence we have this word. We'll look at those two words in a moment. Okay, now I hope you did well in the quiz. Now you've answered the questions about famous people. Here are some more questions. Which person is alive now? Which verb is present simple tense? Which verb is past simple tense? So you might need to rewind the video, go back and look again at the pictures of people and the sentences. One of those people out of the 4 is alive now. Sadly, the other 3 are no longer here, they're dead. Which of the words, which verb is present simple tense? And which verb is past simple tense? Okay. Pause the video now, look back and see if you can write the answers to these questions. You can copy the questions if you want to and write your answers. And here are the answers. Malala is the only person alive. So that was the young lady at the end, the final picture. The present simple tense verb is, past simple tense verb was. Okay, so we're going to have a little break from famous people and talk about you. So let's have a look at some questions that we can ask other people and questions that we can listen to and understand and answer about ourselves. So reorder these words to make questions about childhood. Listen while I read the questions. You born when were? Born where you were? Does that sound correct? No, that's not correct. So you need to write down those questions in the correct word order, with the words in the correct order. And 2 more questions. Which word is a verb? Which words are question words? So pause the video now. See if you can reorder the words in those questions in red. And then answer the 2 questions at the bottom of the screen in black. Which word is a verb? And which words are question words? Pause the video and write your answers now. Here are the answers. When were you born? Where were you born? Were is the verb. When and where are the question words. Can you remember when do we use the question word when? Yes, it's for times, dates, days, years. What about the question word where? Yes, we use that to ask about places, like your country or your address. Here are some sentences about me. I was born in 1966. It's a long time ago. I was born in London. Can you write some sentences about you now? Pause the video and write sentences similar to my sentences, but this time about you. Where were you born? When were you born? See if you can ask your friends and family questions and give sentences about yourself. Don't forget the questions are: when were you born? Where were you born? Now, those two words, where and were, are quite similar. They're quite difficult. So look at my mouth. Where, were. Where, were. If you have a mirror, you can put the mirror in front of your face and look at your mouth. Where, were. It changes shape. So make sure you say those words clearly. And also listen very carefully when people ask you those questions. Sometimes we get those words where and when confused. So practice asking your friends and family at home those questions. I know you probably know the answers, but it's good to practice. Perhaps on FaceTime, you might ask those questions to friends and other family that you're talking to on FaceTime at the moment, or WhatsApp video. Okay, now thinking about making sentences. So if someone asks you that question, you need to give a sentence to answer. I was born in, and then of course there you're going to have the year that you were born. I was born in, and then you're going to have the name of the place that you were born. I was born in 1966. I was born in London. Notice the sound of was. It's got a Z sound at the end, a Z. Think of a buzzing bee. Bzz. Was. So this is in red is how it sounds and how you pronounce the word was. And this is how you write the word in black. So practice those sounds, practice those sentences and questions. Okay, we're going to go back to famous people once again, as we did at the beginning of the lesson. Let's have a look at the picture. Do you know this man? Perhaps you have read about him before. Is he English, do you think? No, I don't think so. If you look at him, he looks different. And what he is wearing is very different to what English people wear. So this gives us a clue that he is not from this country. Okay, so let's read and find out some more information about this man. Don't forget, when we use the word famous, what are we talking about? Famous. It means a person or people that are known everywhere. Everyone knows them. Lots of people know them. Can you think of any more famous people that are known all over the world? Okay, let's read about this man. If you want to, you can pause the video at the end after I've read. If you want to read it again a little bit more slowly. Okay, so don't forget to pause the video at the end when I've finished reading if you want to take more time to read. Let's start at the beginning. Mahatma Gandhi was a politician and an activist. Oh, here we go, that word again, activist. He was born in India in 1869. His wife's name was Kasturba and his children's names were Harilal, Manilal, Ramdas and Devdas. Gandhi was part of the British rule ending in India in 1947. So where was he born? We're going to have a look at some more questions about him in the next slide. Pause now if you want to read again. You can always rewind if you want to check the reading to answer the questions. In the next slide there are going to be some questions. Here are the questions. When was Gandhi born? Where was he born? What was his wife's name? How many children did he have? Why is he famous? When do we use was and were? So pause the video. If you want to, write down those questions, copy them. And then if you want to go back in the video to check and find out the answers. And in the next slide, I'm going to give you the answers. Don't forget to find out why we use was or when we use was and were, those words in red, the verbs. Here are the answers. Gandhi was born in 1869. He was born in India. His wife's name was Kasturba. He had 4 children. He was famous because he was part of the end of British rule in India in 1947. We use was with I, he, she, it. Singular words. That means singular, talking about one. We use were with you and they. Mainly plural words. What does that mean? More than one. Although you, we do use a singular for one person. And if you go back to the reading, you could see that it talks about his wife's name was. How many wives did he have? 1. And his children's names were. How many children did he have? 4. So that's when we use was and were. Don't forget that we used were. We use were with you. So when we ask those questions, when were you born? Where were you born? We use the verb were. And then when we give answers about ourselves, I was born in 1966. I was born in London. When we talk about other people, it could be Gandhi or maybe Malala, she, he or she. We can also use was. So, what I would like you to do now at home and email me, I would like you to write sentences about a famous person using was and were. Email it to me. I've put the address at the bottom of this recording. I think most of you have that address anyway. With your sentences, maybe take a photo with your phone and then email it to me. and then I can check your sentences and keep the work for you. And also it's just good practice for you to read sentences, look at the computer, maybe go onto Wikipedia. Have you heard of Wikipedia? And that might help you find out some information about a famous person. You can go back in this video to find out how to do it. Look at my writing about Mahatma Gandhi and also write some sentences similar to that, but about a famous person that you have chosen. Perhaps 3 or 4 sentences would be very good. Okay, this is the first time that I've recorded a lesson, so I hope you have enjoyed it, and I look forward to recording another lesson soon, and I hope you all keep safe and well. Goodbye.